Well, good evening, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. How are we all this evening? I think we're live anyway. I pressed the broadcast button, and it's not showing me if anybody's actually watching right now. But anyway, if you're there, say hello in the comment section. And we're here this evening with the fabulous Dawn Bates, author, strategist, in fact, global award-winning author as well at that. And she's here to talk about her new book, because when she was talking to me about her new book, I was like, my God, Dawn, we need to tell everybody about this. Never mind the fact that when you see this subheading, well, we definitely have to talk about this. What can I say? So I'm going to say a big hello. We're starting to get people on. It just takes a while for things to, catch up on, like doing the lives on Facebook. So it does. Nicola is saying hello. Hello, Nicola. How are you doing, sweetheart? I hope you're doing really, really well. In fact, maybe I should just have a look, because, hang on, just to check and make sure we are, because at the moment I can only see 2 people on that. And since we're streaming to like 4 different destinations, right? Let's have a wee look. Let's have a look. Hang on. Yes, we are. We are live now, right? So I'm going to have the fabulous Dawn Bates. Hello, Dawn. We're streaming to 4 destinations, and there's 3 people watching, which is just never heard. I did a live earlier on, right? There was like 50 people watching me. So I'm like, this is very bizarre. Right, so if you're there, say hello. Yeah, we're streaming to Girly on Air. We're streaming to my main Facebook page, my business page, and YouTube.
Wow. Hello, everybody.
And hello, everybody. Yeah, we've got Michelle Hudson. Hello, Michelle. Anne Fraser. Hello, Anne Jane Darling. Hello, Jane. And say good evening to all of you, actually. And good evening, because we've got Dawn, the amazing, wonderful, talented, gifted Dawn Bates. And you're here to talk about your incredible book, aren't you? Your book.
I am here. The book.
Yeah, so as you can see with the banner going across, we've got Alpha, saving humanity one vagina at a time. Just because of the whole Facebook censorship thing and stuff like that. We can't
we weren't allowed to actually mention the subtitle in any of the press releases.
There we go. And it's not so much that, it's when they're doing the press releases and they're doing social media promotion, right? They're out that they've got software in there that's programmed to detect certain wording and stuff, and it'll just immediately block it.
Because they're so powerful, these parts of our anatomy, that they need blocking.
Well, there we go. It says it all, doesn't it? It really says it all. What can I say? I know. So Alpha, where did you get the name Alpha from?
Well, the thing is, it's like people always talk about the alpha female, and the alpha male, and that you need the alpha energy and And I was just like, yeah, but all the books in the Sacral series have different names. Like you've got like Moana, there was Layla, Pandora. We've got Alpha in this one, Faith and Social, Guard, Officer, and Judge. That's the whole 9 in the series, and we're up to book 4 at the moment with Alpha. And it was basically about what energy, what essence did this woman embody for her to be able to go, you know what, this is what I need to do for me to survive. This is what I need to embody for me to be able to say, this has to stop. This cannot go on anymore. So the name Alpha just came to me. Pandora, the name for Pandora came to me because when that box was open, when that went public with what happened with Pandora, that was a Pandora's box. That upset the whole country.
Oh wow! So kind of like it was a disruption to the algorithm, to the normal kind of, and I just realized what might have happened is I did put in the title of this, saving humanity one asterisk vagina at a time. So that might have been already, because I would normally have at least 50 people watching by now, just so that you know.
Really?
Yep.
Wow, that's so interesting.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh my goodness. So can I ask that people, you can see the banner here, well, in fact, the like button's taken away now. So please follow, please share, right? Please go to Dawn's page, give her a follow as well, right? And when I put the link back up again, go and check out her book, right? Because she's in a competition, right? And she's
Yeah.
nominated by somebody else. But since a
Yeah.
lot of people, I'm still trying to get over the fact, and I forgot to message you back the other day when you were saying about how they buy like book reviews and book
Yeah,
like.
people can buy book reviews. Yeah.
I'm even
I won't
struggling.
do it.
No, you can't, because if you do that even once, right? It's kind of like they're like fake followers and stuff, right? You just can't do that. I mean, what is the point, right? So
Well,
vision.
for me, it just shows a lack of belief in yourself and a lack of trust in your audience.
Yes, lack of trust, lack of belief, and you're it's a bad investment of inflation of ego as well. It's not going to, it might temporarily look like great, but the other side of that is it's like tripping over a wall and the barbed wire on top of it, isn't it? And falling flat on your face on the other side.
Absolutely. And this is the thing, it's like, I mean, there's so many authors out there that are having, I mean, I got caught up in it for a second. I was like, oh, I wonder what other kind of books have been entered into this competition. Most, like, they're all fiction. And although Alpha and the books in the Sacred series are written as fiction, they're only written as fiction to protect the identities of the individuals whose stories I'm writing. They're all true stories. But again, it's like these things are going on in the world. And a friend of mine, Bianca, who shared with her audience across Australia, she was like, if we have one of these escapism fiction books win this competition over and above Alpha, that says so much about humanity, or the lack of that we have in the world.
Yeah. Oh, it's an
And I
absolute.
was just like, oof, yeah, that got me.
It is actually about people's interest, right? As well as that people are so involved with their everyday life, right? They don't give a thought to humanity. They just let other people take care of that. We'll just let other people take care of that. They don't. There's
It's
some
not my business.
people. That's right, blinkers, right? They've got blinkers on, and if those blinkers are on, they're just one-dimensional, one-directional. When you think about it, right? Is reading up stuff. Never mind your Mills and Boon. Never mind, your the kind of books are sensationalist books, I call them. I do love reading about people's life stories, I've got to say, right? And your life story has been extraordinary, hasn't it?
It kind of has, yeah.
It all started your book journey. Tell us about your book journey, because it all started, didn't it, in a very, they say, if you want to know what somebody's doing, look at where they've suffered the pain. If you want to know whether they'll be successful, if you're even watching this right now and go, I don't know what my power is, I don't know what my brilliance is, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing or my purpose is, look to see where your pain point is. And if that keeps happening as well, look to it. And I'm not just talking bang yourself. I'm not just talking because we all go through stuff in life. I'm talking something extreme where your passion comes out with that because it provokes a certain action, doesn't it? So what was what was it for you that did that?
Depends on how far back we go, because I remember that my mum was a single mum. She was always working. And I had so many questions, and she was like, I don't know, go and look in your books. Okay, first bit of rejection there after my father decided to leave. And that's the thing, I mean, if we go back, it was like, okay, well, I'm going to look in my books. And then when I was looking in my books, she'd come up and she'd go, Dawn Louise, get your head out of that book. Dinner's ready. And I'd be like, you just told me to go and look in the book. I'm in the book. Don't disrupt me when I'm in the book. And I was bullied at school quite badly. And I was just like, you know what? The library is my safe space. Books are never going to shout at me. Books have always got the answers I'm looking for. But I can go on so many adventures with books. And then I remember when I was, I'd started in business, and I married my ex-husband, and people were fascinated that oh my God, like you married an Arab. Oh my God, you like what is that like? I mean, it was okay if he was a rich oil baron, but the fact that he was a Muslim Arab, well, he was just going to beat me up and put me in a cupboard, and I was just got to the point where I was just so done with it. I went, you know what, I'm just going to write a book. Because people had all the same questions. So I flippantly said, I'm going to go write a book. So I went and wrote a book. I wrote Friday Bridge. And I looked at all the things that had happened in my life, from like the rejection of my dad telling my mum to put me up for adoption because he didn't want to pay maintenance, all the way through to being, bullied at school, having bulimia, and then meeting my ex-husband at a rave, and then I embraced Islam, and then because I had so many questions, and then I walked away from Islam, and I lived out in Egypt during the uprising. That was about my second book. And the more I traveled around the world, the more I learned about the world, the more curious I was about the world. I was like, you know what? I have all this knowledge. And if I don't do something with this knowledge and I don't share this knowledge, then I'm part of a bigger problem.
Mm-hmm.
I am part of the problem of ignorance in the world. I am part of the problem of people pretending everything is okay. And I've lived and worked now in over 50 countries. I speak 3 languages fluently, some of them all in the same sentence. I can get by in 3 other languages. And I've realized that it doesn't matter where I am in the world. Everybody is the same. Everything is the same. Even down when I just came down the Amazon River, just the way in which the housing and the society and the communities in the Amazon are organized, it's no different to anywhere else in the world. I mean, I'm here in the Andes right now in Colombia, and just it's like a little village. In that humanity is so the same, so connected, and yet we are so ignorant to each other, and we do not understand what's going on in the world until people like me go, you know what, I need to write a book about this. And people go, but Dawn, why do you write these really traumatic books? Why do you talk about the Egyptian uprising and mention all this corruption? Why do you expose police corruption like I did in Crossing the Line? Why have you spoken about narcissism and gang rape? And why are you now talking about female genital mutilation and rape in marriage? And why are you talking about, families abusing their children? And I'm like, because if I don't, who's going to? If I don't publish the books for the people that have gone through this, what other publishing companies are out there that's going to publish these kind of books? There are a lot of the social justice publishers out there. They'll publish books on, race relations, or they'll publish books on, I don't know. We've done so much market research into different kinds of publishers for social justice. And a lot of them are all about race and gender and but not a lot of them. We couldn't find one where they were actually publishing the kind of books that I publish. And I hate bullying. I hate anybody being bullied, whether it's children in the playground, employers to their employees, whether it's coaches to their clients, whether it is parents to their children, or whether it's governments. I don't like bullying. And if I can actually lend my voice and I can share someone else's story whilst protecting them and their families, then I have a duty to do that. And, people like, but, people don't read books anymore, Dawn. People don't have that attention span. I'm like, no, people do have that attention span. People do read books. The thing is, not a lot of people read the right books because there's a lot of really bad books out there and a lot of books that are so the same, and people are done reading the same Jack Reacher story over and over again. They're done reading the same book over and over again in a different setting with a different police officer's name. And hi, Lorna. Hi, Michelle. And the thing for me is like people are getting more and more curious about what's going on in the world. The fact that we're all so connected on Facebook and social media like Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter. I don't remember any of the other platforms because I'm so on social media, not all the time. But But again, it's like when we're so connected, but we're so ignorant to each other's suffering. Like when 30% of women in marriages are raped, 30% of women that are married are raped. And that's not just in countries like India where everyone thinks that's where it happens. Oh no, that's in America, that's in the UK. 20 million women are walking around on this planet at the moment and they've had their vaginas mutilated. And that's only so that they do not stray in marriage. And that's the kind of thing that we need to know about, because, okay, if these women, and what was really interesting when I was researching for Alpha was that it's going back, women are actually now doing it to other women. And that started because the women could see the damage that the men were doing to the vagina, that the women said, actually, let me do it. They started off doing it to protect the women and the young girls, because some of these women that are walking around now had FGM done to them when they were days old. And it's like, we need to speak out on this.
Yeah, I remember reading about this when I was in my teens and I was horrified. Absolutely horrified. And speaking out about it, making the awareness about it as well. And it's one of these areas that nobody wants to talk about.
No, but we need to.
Right, but except for you, Dawn. Right, so we need to, right? You're bringing, right, but that, you know, there's your purpose. Right, you've worked your way there from crossing the line, haven't you? You know,
from Friday Bridge to Wallahi, right, to crossing the line.
Right, I beg your pardon. So it was Friday Bridge. What's the other one?
Then it was Wallahi, which means what the fuck? Seriously, in Arabic? That's what Wallahi means. Or if you're looking at it from an Islamic point of view, it means swear to my God or swear to God. And one of the reasons why I used Wallahi was because that was all about the Egyptian uprising, and that was exposing the police corruption and the government corruption, and talking about the corruption within the education system in Egypt. And when Mubarak started his speech, I mean, we'd all just got back from Tahrir Square, because I was there on the ground, and my book was, the audio books are coming, Jennifer. They are coming. But I was
thinking this. I'm like, you know, I would love for you to put all that in audio form so I can listen to them driving around.
Yeah. Well, you see, the thing is, I've been in Latin America now for the last 2-3 years. And then I was across the Atlantic. I was in the middle of the Atlantic for 3 months. And before that, I was in the west coast of Sahara, trying to find a recording studio that actually meets Audible standards. It was just like, you know what, we'll just wait until I get to Costa Rica. So yeah, I'm going to get it done in Costa Rica.
Right,
so by the end of this year, beginning of next year, the audio books will all be out ready.
So the reason for that is Jennifer saying, my father, for example, has vision issues. He is on audiobooks. Excellent. Keep up the great work. Thank you,
Jennifer. And it's actually interesting that your surname is Kokorda. I've just actually been in the Kokorda Valley, walking around here in Colombia. Yeah.
Wow. Oh my God.
Yeah. My ass is going to hurt tomorrow.
She sent me voice recordings earlier on. I swear to God, I had to double look at the name because you sounded like somebody else entirely. So you were channeling somebody when you were out there. Let me tell you.
See, this is the thing. People kept going on about going to Peru, but you'll get this, right? For me, I've always had this thing about coming to Colombia, and it wasn't just because of the coffee, although that was a big pull. But we all vibrate at a certain energy, right? We've all had certain past lives. And depending on how many we've had, I truly believe that we are called to go to places based on our energetic frequency. And people kept saying, go to Peru. The energy there is amazing. Oh, it's amazing. And when I was in Peru, after I'd come along the Amazon River, I spent, a couple of weeks traveling from the north of Brazil into a place called Tabatinga, which is a borderless town where you've got Santa Rosa, Tabatinga, and Leticia. They're all together, but there's no laws, there's no police there. And so I woke up in Brazil, went for lunch in Peru, and then slept in Colombia all in one day. It was pretty cool. But I did step onto Peruvian land, and my whole body tingled but it still didn't feel right for me to go to Peru. But the energy here in Colombia, here in that, because we're in the Andes, it's the largest mountain range in the world. But this is where it starts in the and you've got the Pacific Ocean energy, you've got the Caribbean Ocean energy, you've got the Andes Mountains, you've got, honestly, the energy here in Colombia, and the people here, they're just so lovely. I mean, there are a few things that are frustrating, but that's everywhere. But it's so pretty here, so colorful, so pretty. I'm absolutely loving it here. I don't know where you've gone, Lara. Risha Ramsarup. Good evening. Where are you from, Risha?
Could you see me?
It's
Can you see me?
Channeling the energy here for the next level of my life is very exciting.
Can you see me at all?
I don't have internet by the looks.
Oh. I think we're losing Dawn there. It must be the internet. I'm going to remove her from the feed until it kind of thingy. So as you can see, Dawn, she's written several books. Resha's from South Africa. And good evening, Resha. I'm hoping that Dawn reconnects back in very, very shortly. She's frozen in the green room there below. So just quick, hello. We've got Michelle Hudson, Jennifer Corcoran. Yeah, I don't know if I pronounced that properly. Resha Ramsarup, there we go. We can see you clear. Thank you. Daniel Faust. Hi, Daniel. Linda. Hi, Linda. Good to see you. Oh, she's back. She's back. There we go. You're back.
I told you, I'm in the mountains.
We're keeping it going. We've had a few more join us here. When I was streaming to Girly in Air, there was somebody in there doing their video at the same time. So I had to sort that out.
How rude.
And I scheduled it and everything in there, but I thought that's on private. It's a private group there. So I'm thinking, I'll just remove that. Checked it on my phone when you were talking a minute ago and found that a lady, a TV woman in there was actually doing her video.
Was that Rhonda?
It was. Well done. There we go.
Oh, you, Rhonda.
Of course it had to be. And I'm like, it's funny how you knew
No,
that.
It's not Rhonda. It's Zondra. It's Zondra Evans. That's it.
Right. So she's in there right now doing a video. And I'm like, that's funny.
Right. I'm having words with you, lady.
So we've had Resha from South Africa, because you asked. We've got Daniel Faust has just joined us as well. Hi, Daniel. How are you doing?
Hey, Daniel.
Yay! All right, and Resha shared to groups, because I
thank you so much.
Tell us about this competition, right? That you're in. This is the last minute. We want real. When I say votes, it's to do with buying the book, isn't it? Really, and
it is. It's kind of multifaceted because, I mean, the thing is, it was really quite interesting because I normally publish my books and all my clients' books to over 150 publishing platforms. I never stick to Amazon because a lot of people boycott Amazon. But Amazon have done this storytelling competition, which comes with a cash prize. It comes with them taking over the marketing, or them giving you marketing. But it also means that there's a translation deal. And obviously with the importance of this book, and the message and the need to get it out there and people's awareness to be raised. Somebody who I highly respect, she's worked on so many book awards. She's worked on so many different international best-selling books for New York Times, the Financial Times. She was like, we're entering alpha into this competition. And I was like, really? Are you? She was like, yeah. I was kind of, all right then, go for it, let's do it. Okay. I was like, yes. And then we part of the prize is not only do you have to be entered, you can enter yourself, but I was entered into it, which was that was to have your peers who you really respect enter you into the competition. That just meant something on a whole other level. But then you need to get as many sales as possible, which act as nominations from the public. So the more sales there are, that's like the nominations, that's people cheering you on. And then you do need the reviews, which is another aspect of the competition. But now at midnight tonight, GMT, not GMT, GMT, Greenwich Mean Time, at midnight tonight, that's when all the voting closes. That's when all the sales close, and then it goes to the judges. And then I'm in the hands of the judges then. But it was really...
Do they go by more than just book sales?
Yeah, they do. They go by, obviously, the book cover, and Jerry's done an incredible job on this.
I love
he's so talented. I just go, Jerry, I'm writing a book about... He goes, shut up, Dawn. I went, all right then. He's known me since I was 21. I just tell him what the book's about, and then he goes off and he does it. And I'm just like, yay. And within about 24 hours later, I get a book cover and I go, that's amazing. You nailed it, of course. He's lovely. I love Jerry. Jerry Lampson, I love you.
It's a stunning book cover. Like, it's just with allure, with luxury, with veil.
Those blood diamonds.
Yeah, veil. You know, like that which is hidden. There we are. That's
absolutely
what I saw. Avatars, pretending to be somebody that you're not. Right? How people
the alienation in it, and how she was alienated by her culture.
Alienated by culture, right? And there's a thing, because going back over 100 years ago, right? Alienists were people that they were psychiatrists, right? Alienist was, when you were alienated from yourself, right? And now it seems to be acceptable when you're alienated out from your culture, if you want to call it as well. We can be alienated from a lot of different things, so we can. Peggy Cairns is just, hello, Peggy. How are you?
Hey, Peggy.
Dogs all barking in the background and stuff like that. So we need to buy the book, guys. Buy Alpha.
Please buy the book, because the thing is, it's not about the cash prize. It's not about me winning. It's about this story getting into the hands of as many people as possible. Every woman that cares about her own sexual freedoms, her own freedoms, and cares about supporting and giving a voice for other women and putting a stop to genital mutilation and rape within marriage and any kind of trauma and abuse. That's why this book needs to be purchased.
And that's why they kind of stop it, don't they? It's like they don't want that which is not spoken about doesn't exist, right?
Absolutely right.
They don't talk about these things. They get away with it, and people suffer, right? Women.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
And when women suffer, the planet suffers.
Well, if the witch ain't happy, ain't nobody happy, right? So you take that into a different thing, is that if women are unhappy, they will bring down the world.
Yeah, they will.
Right? Take time, but they'll bring down the world. So they will. So please follow the link. Take you to Alpha. It's not just about the book sales. I think if they see an influx of people, like buying the book, they will look at what the book's about as well, right? If they see there's interest there, and more importantly, I'm kind of hoping that, because it's such a good subject matter, right, and a taboo subject that's barely spoken about, that they're going to propel it further by, giving first prize to your book. That would be awesome.
That would be really awesome. Absolutely, Peggy. We do.
Everybody has a right to a voice, right? When people say about freedom of speech, let me tell you right now, there is no such thing as freedom of speech. None. Right, you think, listen, and even before social media, we used to have orange boxes in a place in London, right, where people could stand on them and, they talked about stuff, talked about issues.
Speaker's Corner, wasn't it?
Yes, that's right. Yes, that was your first social media gathering, probably, before you
the town crier.
Yeah, the town crier as well. There we go. Wow, look, we're really digging deep here.
You can go further if you want.
Having a voice. How many men out there know that this is happening and feel powerless to do anything about it? And that affects how men are. It affects their identity. It affects that they see the world, right? They maybe would make other choices if they weren't in pack behavior as well.
That's one of the things that really shocked Alpha, because she couldn't believe that the men that she met when she was helped to leave her country. Thank you so much, Jennifer. And when she arrived in the UK, she couldn't believe that it was a majority of people that were there supporting her and making sure that her movement got started were men. Men held space, and she was like, I can't believe this. And when she saw men cry when they heard her story, said, right, okay, we need to do something. She was just, I mean, I remember sitting there having dinner with her. She was like, I just don't like this would, I just don't. And she was lost for words. And I was like, you're going to spit it out, or are you going to, have you got something stuck in your throat, love? You know, and that's the thing, all 9 of these stories that are in the Sacral series, I know these people personally. They've trusted their story to me. And, you know, and it's like, she was so lost for words. And, you know, when my boys find out, well, I can't say boys, they're young men now, they're, you know, 14 and 18. I tell them what's in the books. And like, this is why it's important that I do this work, boys. Like, you know, just so that, you know, that this is what my next book's about, you know. One of them is still at school, you know. And I am the coolest mum in the school because, you know, I'm sailing around the world and all of this jazz. And they're like, yeah, they get to just have computer and pizza time with their dad. But so like, I do give my boys a heads up because I know that my work does impact them on some level. And my boys are like, Mum, you got to do this. You know, so when women have been really off with me about the fact that I'm not at home with my children and my fur babies, and, you know, how dare I just leave them to go and do this trip around the world? So how dare I not? I don't live in a parenting model of hundreds a year, which is over. I mean, when the parenting model we have now is hundreds of years old. Women still at home serving the family, giving up everything that they have and everything that they want and everything that they want to be to serve the children. And my youngest son, I mean, he's 14 now, but when he was about 11 or 12, he said to me, he goes, Mummy, you're not here just to lead us, you're here to lead the world. You're here to lead other women. And he was 11, and I was just like, okay.
We learn
no
so
pressure.
much from our children.
No pressure.
No, we learn so much from our children.
We do. But we have to allow ourselves to learn from them.
We do. That's right. And there is a lot of societal pressure, right?
Helen.
You know, people, you know, women having to be a certain way and, you know, look the best, immaculate, kids immaculate. You got to have a kick-ass job, you know, or business, right? Still turn up at the school gates. Like, you've got to be in about 40,000 different places at once. The kids got to, you know, and I've done it myself. There was one of my children, £360 a month for all their activities. Now I've got 5 children, right? One of my children. That's with all their flat.
Easily done.
5 musical instruments, right? Rugby. There was rugby. There was a whole load of other stuff.
Tennis, cricket, football, swimming.
Oh, you name it.
That didn't even include the private school fees.
I guess that one particular went to private school for a year of his life as well, right? So it was that, you know, a little soul got a train in the morning, and, you know, and there was a nursery other side that picked him up. And it's just so much pressure on women, and men losing their identities as well, because they're feeling that women have taken on some of that role of them, when it's not. It's just reflected back to us, isn't it, that we've got to be a certain way. Well, I'm all for a different way of parenting. I myself have done a different way. After a certain point, I broke free from all of that. It didn't go down very well to begin with. It won't. And it probably will always be something that's not gone down very well. But the kids are doing great. So now we look at
that's the thing. Looking at the way my boys are now, and how they see the world and how they respond to other people, you know, everyone's like, oh my God, they're so mature. Like they fly around the world by themselves.
Yeah. Let me tell you, my kids did not do great when I was doing the traditional mother model. Because if as women, if we go into that traditional model, the kids go into the traditional model, which is not a great look in society at the moment.
No, it's not.
No. And there's John Spratt. Hello, Lara. Hello, John. Watching. You missed a whole talk about vaginas, John.
See, this is the thing, like we can have a laugh about it and we're talking about these subjects, but listening to, like, I remember someone recently said to me, because for each of the stories in this series, like Alpha has her own podcast, Pandora has her own podcast, so does Layla and Moana, and each of the books moving forward will have their own individual podcast. And Adam and I were talking, because Adam's my co-host on it, because I wanted to have a strong masculine energy and a strong feminine energy so that they balanced each other. And for me, like, there's Adam and I, we're chatting away, and people like, someone said, but you're always laughing with him. You're talking about a really serious, difficult subject and you're laughing. I'm like, yes, because the thing is, when you've met people like Alpha or Pandora or Layla, I mean, no one will meet Layla anymore because she passed away, unfortunately. But you know, with Pandora and Alpha, if these women can learn how to laugh and they can learn how to enjoy life and create the life that they wanted, and it's not so much that the stories are traumatic, it's about how these women have gone on to thrive. I mean, the next book, Faith, is all about a guy and what he discovered about faith, and the abuse of faith. And you know, his book cover is haunting as well. It's amazing. But when you're talking about these subjects and you're linking them to other things that are actually attached to them, and you're looking at, I mean, I've seen so many mutilated vaginas in the last 2 months, 3 months, and learned so many horrific stories of what's happened in the world and how women have died during childbirth because of FGM. That if I don't learn to laugh and we don't learn to elevate our energy and our vibration, then we stay stuck at a very low vibration. I mean, we're looking at what's going on in the world at the moment. The people who are resonating in fear are the ones who are catching this this highly infectious thing at the moment. But it's because of their vibration being really, really low. It's about their vibration, their bodies, the foods they've taken in, their mindset. And, you know, it's so essential that someone like me, who writes the books I write, I have to find something to laugh about every single day. I call it giggle therapy. You know, you have to giggle. I mean, I've just been like walking by myself, like, if you wait till you see the bridge I had to cross earlier, like, that's not a bridge. And it was just a really thin piece of wire, and I'm just like, I gotta get across here. Okay, I can do this.
If they could just see me now.
Yeah, and I got over to the other side, and I nearly went arse over shit in a big pile of horse manure.
Broadcast, you know, you coming from the bottom of the ravine somewhere, you know, like, it's like, please buy Alpha.
Horse shit across my face.
That's a hell of an advert, Dawn, looking less than alpha-ish. I totally agree with you. You know, they talk about all these different therapies, but the actual best therapy for stress, for anything, for even health, is to have a jolly good laugh. Like, find something that's funny, or go on somewhere and find something that you find funny and just keep playing it back and laugh. If you can't do it, I like a good bit of hyacinth bouquet.
Do you know which scene? There's always one thing that makes me giggle other than myself. There's that scene that they play from Only Fools and Horses, where Del Boy and Robin are Batman and Robin.
Oh, that's hilarious. Isn't it? Their three-wheeler car.
I can't watch that.
Listen, we used to have fans dress parties every year, right? And we did have a couple.
Oh, I can't wait to get dressed up.
And he got out the car, forgot he was dressed up like Superman, right? Filled the car up with petrol, This is when you can talk about. And he then ran in to the super,
with his cape billowing.
his cape flying, right? And you could just see everybody's face, right, going,
Why is Superman in a car?
Caped Crusader running away. No, that's Batman, isn't it? The Caped Crusader is Batman.
Oh, they've all got a cape.
John, it's been a real blast having you on here. Like, we've even finished with a good old laugh.
Yeah,
Guys,
you need
girls,
to giggle.
Please don't buy Alpha. Love the title. You'll love the cover even better. I never mind what's in between the covers of the book is basically a story that will really shift your thinking and perspective. And the more people that have this book, read this book, start to shift into actually what's going on in humanity and has been going on for a long, long time. And we talk about female empowerment. We talk about empowerment in general, but female empowerment is that how can we, when we're allowing stuff like this to happen in the world?
Exactly. And then what was really interesting is Alpha's husband is a pastor.
Oh.
And and what's been coming out of America at the moment, like the divine timing of my book. You're very welcome, Michelle. Thank you for joining us. It was just like every time I drop a new book, it's almost like the divine timing of it all is, Exactly. That's all I'm going to say about the pastor situation in Alpha.
With us right the way through divine timing that you're here, right? And it's like, let's just never mind your social, never mind all that and reading up stuff. Get tucked into something of substance and get Dawn's book and help her win this competition, mainly so that you can get, I say we because I like to think that we're all connected.
Yeah,
right?
We are.
That we can propel that book to a place where it's going to get more recognition and then infiltrate in the places that it needs to and create change. Because isn't that what it's all about?
Absolutely it is.
So I'm going to say bye-bye for now. Dawn, thank you so much for
joining.
And just, go to the link. I'll put the link in the comment section there. Right, so it's posted on, all the broadcast streams there. And now the music's started to be played. I'm going to say bye for now. Thank you so much.
Ciao, ciao from Colombia.
Bye. Bye. Bye-bye.